Guys, welcome back to another video. And today we are going to talk about your tone is compromising your results in life. That phrase that it's not, what do you call it? It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Yeah. It actually does matter. And it is very relevant to your life in every single situation, relationship, coworker, everything. It is so important. And it's something that I am just now starting to embody more. And I'm starting to truly see the difference. So, if you're new here, hi, I'm Demi. I have this page here to just basically, I'm a spiritual coach, and I also just help women and people just understand life from a clearer lens. So, back to what I was talking about. Your tone. Matter of fact, my tone was ruining my life. I was tone deaf, like in real life. And a lot of people probably don't consider themselves as tone deaf, but you are probably... This is how I found out I was tone deaf. So if this resonates with you, then you might want to turn this up a little bit and listen in, because it's important. It can change your life. And it won't even change your life. It'll change the way people perceive you as a person. And you become more powerful, and you can command a room without really saying anything. And get the respect that you deserve, all from your tone and your voice. And just overall communication. But this isn't it's a communication video based on tone, but not on all the different spectrums, because there's so much that comes to communication, but we're talking about tone today. And let me tell you guys what tone has done to my life when I was tone deaf. And what I mean by tone deaf, meaning, say you're having a conversation about a car price or something with someone else. You're telling them the car price, and for whatever reason, they are telling you, no, that's not right. But the number or whatever the price is right. And then some way, somehow, it went from a collaborative experience, talking about how we're going to buy this car and find the right price, to an entire argument. How did we get here? That is kind of what it looks like. That's just the example that I had at the moment. But the example in my real life is whenever, someone would ask me a simple question, you can come off as defensive. You could come off as, ain't nothing wrong with me. Like there's a certain, you're speaking from like here and like here. You're not really, your voice isn't really in your body. It's more of like, is it here? Like you're speaking from here, not from here, not from here. You're speaking from here. And so, oh my gosh, if I would have knew this information sooner, I would be dangerous. But Anyways, when it comes to vocal tone, it is, and I'll use an example with like children because I feel like everybody can relate to this, and it's just a lot easier to understand. So, I'm babysitting a kid, and the kid is just kind of like, not really following the rules, not really following the instructions. And I'm screaming at the kid like, hey, can you please stop doing that? And it's really hard. I've been practicing like keeping my tone in a certain way, so it's so hard for me to like yell. It's so weird. But it's just like, hey, stop doing that, and you're just yelling. You're like, really, you're up here. And if you notice, the child is not listening. But if you bring your tone here, excuse me, no thank you, let's not do that. And I've tried this on a child, and it works. They listen. They listen to you. They listen to you. Just a change in tone. It's not about how loud you are, it's where your voice projects from, where your voice is coming from. And there's so many voices and tonalities that you can have that are for different places and different, the relationships in your life, they're different. And this has been game changing for me in so many different ways, even down to just the public speaking piece and speaking to other people and just making sure, practicing like being in a certain place in my body when I want to speak in a certain way. I've noticed that I'm more present in my body, and so I'm actively listening more, and it's just creating a new me entirely. All the things that I tell you guys to do on my page, it's because I've been embodying them for a certain time, and to the point where like it's natural for me. Yeah, there might be times that I fall off, but what does that matter if this is what I do every single day. No one's perfect. But I feel that this is so important because when you're speaking to someone and you're having a conversation with them, one little wrong switch in your tone, it can turn that conversation from a great conversation to somebody feeling some type of way or feeling triggered or elicit something that you probably don't want to experience, if that's making sense. But yeah, if that's making sense to you, drop a comment, drop a 1 in the comments, and like this video if you like to support my page and you like what I'm posting, and share it to your friends, because this is personal development stuff that I wish that I knew growing up, because it would have saved me so much time and so much confusion and these are relationship skills, these are speaking skills that just work. And yeah, changed my life. It's making me consider taking like actual vocal lessons, because I've always wanted to learn how to sing just because, out of a hobby. But being like having your true voice and knowing what your true voice sounds like, it even takes less energy to speak this way. You don't stress your body out this way. And I feel like that is another reason why some people, you know, they don't want to talk a lot, or they just feel like so stressed out when they talk, or they feel anxious to talk to others. And it's because your body is like stressed out when you're speaking from like up here. Like when you're speaking from up here, it is just not, it doesn't even feel good in your body. You don't even connect with your body at all when you speak that way. And yeah. And even when like you're just speaking just to speak, or if you're someone that just like talks a lot and just like, you know, because I went through that too. And I realized that's not really, that's another thing that adds to communication as well. Just like speaking and just like oversharing and stuff like that. That's a way to release stress. And I had to personally learn how to cut that out. And how to find a new way to release stress in my life. So I'm not, one, sharing all my business. Two, you become very unlikable when you overshare, because who wants random advice or random stuff all day, especially if you've just met them. Like, these are just certain social skills that like I was not aware of at the time, and it was putting me through the ringer. But it was simply because I just did not know what these things were at all. And that is why I'm posting here, because if I would have knew then what I knew now, oh my gosh. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's all a journey. But man, would it have saved me so much confusion in life. But yeah, with that being said, your tone, it could possibly be killing or healing your relationships in life. Your tone. It is a very powerful when you know your tone and where to speak from. Because you can go from Johnny, Johnny, sit down, screaming and hollering, and when you're screaming and hollering, being tired, to going to, it's time to sit down. Please put that down. And Johnny drops the toy and sits down. And this reminds me of certain teachers that I had, like those teachers that were very stern. They weren't mean. We would call them mean as kids, but they were just very embodied in their voice. Like they knew where to speak from. They spoke from here, not the heart, but like your solar plexus, to command authority in the room, and all the kids would listen. It's that, I'm pretty sure every single person watching this video can relate to having a teacher who had that voice where, you know, you didn't necessarily like her, but you knew when she spoke, or even, and then back to when I said that sometimes you won't even need to speak. Some teachers, they were just so embodied in like the presence of the room, and so focused on them and where they wanted their room to be, that the entire classroom shifted towards that teacher, because they were so focused on themselves and how they wanted their classroom to be ran. That is why those kids do that. Most teachers that don't have to say anything is because of that. They know their voice. They found their voice, and they know how to use it to their advantage when dealing with, you know, kids who necessarily are learning those social skills. And I really wish that this was taught in school, because it is so important. So important. Yeah. And one of my last videos, I was telling you guys about how, how someone can have a different experience with with the same, with the same person. Like two people could be dealing with someone or have a relationship with someone in some way, shape, or form, and they will have two separate sides of that person, and it could be because of so many different things. You could be like overgiving and just giving unsolicited advice and making them not really like you anymore without knowing it because of human nature. Like if you study human nature, you will understand the reasons why we have to speak and do things in a certain way. It's not necessarily to control you or make you feel controlled. Like when people say, oh, I just want to be myself and all of that, it's like you need skills, you need life skills. This is a life skill that most people are not getting. Yes, we know that cooking and clothing yourself and cleaning your clothes and putting on deodorant and brushing your teeth is a daily living skill. But communication, effective communication, is a daily living skill because the way you speak with your voice, depending on how you speak with your voice at a certain time, and this is going to be very, very sensitive because when you speak to people and you can't speak from a place of kindness, you could possibly accidentally trigger someone else who is not well. Okay? A person who is not well and you're not aware of what you're saying to a specific person and you don't have that awareness, that can put you in a potentially dangerous situation. And this is why I am posting this today, because it is so important that people know this. It's not that men can't take rejection. Yes, I said it. People really need to learn how to take responsibility for the things that they say and how they say it to people. And I understand if you don't know, but it is very, very important and will do you much justice to learn how to speak with intention. Because it could cost you a lot of different things in your life. If you can get what I'm putting down. Yeah. So that is why I think tone is very important, because tone can make you money or bring you the worst of things just in your tone. And that is just a piece, a really small piece of it. So let me give y'all some strategies. One thing that I've started doing is slowing down before I speak, no matter what. I drop down in my body, and I kind of do it with like a deep breath, but I try to make sure I am in my body most of the day. Meditation helps with this as well. That's why you're going to hear me say a lot of stuff about meditation, because it's not just like soothing your mind. Yes, that's a piece of it, but there's levels to this. There's a lot of layers and a lot of stuff. So, yes. So yeah, like I was saying, I just try to bring my energy here. And you'll sound like, right now, this is how my power voice sounds. And I can lighten it. I can harden it and it'll be here. And I can feel it here. Or I can be here. And I could be talking to you guys from a place of power. From a place of reasoning. Or if someone's sad, I can say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you feel that way. So if I'm setting a boundary, I could be like, I am so sorry that you feel that way. But and then I moved back to power. But this is how I run my classroom, and you will not disrespect me. It's like a flow. It's a range. It really is like vocal training. This is why I want to learn how to sing, because I know I would be able to master this if I learned how to sing really well. Because it's voice control, vocal control. It also helps you control your breathing better. Like, I just know there's a ton of benefits to singing. I just know. So, yeah. But, yeah. Like the video if you would enjoy this content. Share it with your friends, family, things of that nature. And subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys for supporting my YouTube page. And if you guys are interested in coaching, my email is in my bio on my page, and you can book there. Yeah, so I hope you guys have a good day. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.